So officially, welcome everyone to this CEF Community Coffee and Chat session. So I normally start every coffee and chat session by introducing the Community Engagement Forum. We are a community of practice under the Shelter, Land and Settlement Coordination Cluster on community engagement in displacement contexts. And our purpose is to share experiences and resources and challenges and tools on community engagement. One of the ways that we do that is through these regular coffee and chat sessions where we discuss different community engagement topics. And for this month, we wanted to introduce you to and finally launch officially the Community Engagement in CCCM Training Package that's been in the works for a while. And to do that, I wanted to bring in a few experts that's been heavily involved in this training. So we have Rafael Naugu. Am I pronouncing your last name somewhat correctly? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Rafael Naugu, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rafael is the site management project manager in Palestine, and he's also leading the community engagement technical working group for the site management cluster in the Gaza. And he was also on the advisory board for the community engagement forum previously. And he has been part of this training both as a trainee and on the review panel. And Clara, hi Clara. So Clara was developing this training package with me and a host of other practitioners over the last 3 years. Clara is now a CCCM consultant with IOM Colombia. And Abir Ahmed, I don't know if she has strong enough internet to turn on the camera, but she's here with us. She is the capacity building officer for the Yemen Displacement Response Consortium. And she works in Aden for DRC in Yemen. She was also part of one of our pilots of the training package. There she is. Hi, Avir. It's nice to see you. And Isabel, do you have your camera on there, Isabel?
It's on.
Hi, Isabel. So Isabel is a site management specialist for NRC's Global Shelter and Settlements team. And very importantly, she was my supervisor until recently. So we have worked together a lot on this training. And Jennifer Kvanmo, have you been able to join? Jennifer is joining us, well, she's joining us from the train, but she's also joining us in the capacity of capacity building working group or COP lead for the Shelter, Land and Settlement Coordination Cluster. She will join as soon as she can. She's on train at the moment. So that's the team that we have with us here today. And I just want to ask all the participants if you've had any involvement with the training at all, if you could put it in the chat maybe. If you've been part of the review panel, if you have been part of any of the pilots, if you've used the training material, it'd be great to hear from you in the chat. And then, Clara, I think I'm going to hand over to you first, just to introduce what this training is and why it exists.
Sure. Then let's start, and please feel free to complete anything I miss. Then we got this idea. We had some requests from countries, no? So we had this package of tools from the CCT, the Community Coordination Toolbox. Then was a common request, to know more how to use that. And at the same time, I think also a desire of trainers that had completed, like, the CCCM induction training, and then the CCCM TOT, and then they wanting more. We were just a little bit before the launching of the ABA training package as well. Then I think that there was this desire from trainers to learn more, or to learn more specific things about components of the induction training on CCCM, or about their practices. And we had this trainings with Christine before, on the TOT, on the CCT. We have inductions on the CCT, and we wanted also to have more people being able to deliver these trainings also, and contextualize mainly the activities to have the tools being used in their countries. I think the the objective was a little bit around it.
Thank you. Yeah. It's the requests first from Myanmar cluster, and then Nigeria cluster, and then the Yemen cluster last year. So it started in 2023 with the Myanmar cluster, and then myself and Clara, we were in Nigeria in 2024, and then last year myself and Noor Arab, we were in Yemen, in South Yemen, in Aden, for the last pilot. They were all, asking, how can we learn more about this? What's the responsibilities of CCCM practitioners are when it comes to engaging the community, and how can we do it practically? So we've been trying to link these practical tools with each of the kind of responsibilities that a CCCM practitioner has. I'm talking about the review panel because they've been heavily involved. It's been a lot of you that are here today, both from the CEF Advisory Board and other HQ and field practitioners from CEA and from CCCM have helped us review the training package, both for content and for being how relevant it is to your context. So it's evolved a lot since the first request myself and Clara got. It may sound like, okay, but now we have a new large cluster. Why do you keep talking about CCCM? Is it only relevant for CCCM practitioners? Well, we will get back to that. But I'm going to hand over to some of the people that have been involved in the pilots. So I think it will be interesting to hear from them how they've used, how they found the training, and how they've used what they learned in the training later in their context. Has it been relevant, etc. So Raphael, I'm going to hand over to you if that's okay. Maybe I should explain that Raphael was in Nigeria while we did the pilot there, although he is now in Palestine for NRC.
Yeah. Okay, great. I mean, you have touched base on that most of the thing, and also Clara has also touched base on the whole introduction. I remember back in 2021 when we had the first online pilot training before having the physical in person in 2024. So I will say that the package has really been helpful. I mean, even on field and in all the implementation we started doing going forward, the tools were very useful. And I remember also that we were adding more tools to the CCT as the whole context in order to like contextualize the whole package and ensure that it aligns with the different contexts that we are working in. And also, I will say for us, then in Nigeria, most of the activity we implemented, including the establishment of the UDOC approach, the establishment of the Community Resource Center or the UDOC Center, were all linked to the lessons learned picked from the training completed. And most recently, after the 2024 package, we take it as a challenge from the feedback to establish what we call the Women Coordination Network. Now, these are all linked to what we have seen, what has been discussed, and now we are physically replicating this in the field where we work to improve our participation, because the community engagement strategy is across board, and in the different contexts, then we have more leadership role mostly for men. And then women are always left out or couldn't make a comment or decision when there are men within the location. So this actually supported in improving women participation. Now they have linked directly with the service providers to highlight their concern and the challenges they are facing. And also the aspect of the different area-based approach, the case study we've done, the community-led initiative. These were all from the resources and from the package, the training package that we have all participated in. And that has been very useful, even not for the context of Nigeria, but coming to the Palestinian context also, it has been very useful in reshaping the site management operation in Gaza. Um, And also, of course, the tool are also being used here like the community-led initiative and co, which is also something that I know when we're discussing around how can we measure it in terms of as a standalone indicator for site management. And before now, we don't have that, but at the end of the day, now we have it as an indicator measuring the number of community-led initiative implemented in a site. So all these progress we have made over the years through the use of the tool. And just like I recently also shared with some of the participants during the Community Engagement Technical Working Group about the tool and how it can be useful to what we're doing and how we can easily contextualize it. So this is actually something that I think it's important to share with colleagues, and how useful this package is going to be when it is eventually rolled out for everyone. Yes. Over from my side. Over to you,
Amazing.
Kristen.
Thank you, Raphael. That makes me so happy that it's been useful, and that you find it easy to adapt these tools. Fernanda is asking, do you want to turn on your camera, Fernanda, or your microphone? So Fernanda is asking, is there a link for the training package? Yes. So the training package will be available now for any trainers from the CCCM clusters, trainers. And I can share the link. Jennifer sent it to me now on WhatsApp, so I just have to transfer it to this chat. And you can request the training package this way. So that's as a trainer. If you are a trainee or you're a manager who wants to request someone to come and train your team, there's a different way, and we'll get back to that in a little while. But before we get back to that, I want to just ask Abir from Aden, Yemen, from our last pilot, and we were refining the material and got a lot of very useful feedback. The same question: if it's been useful for you, the training at all, do you have any comments, any feedback, and have you been able to use the material in your work since? So over to you, Abir.
Yes. Thank you so much. By the way, I'm sorry for not turning the camera on, but we have poor internet connection here, so I just ensure the quality of the sound. Um, well, see, I have two opinions here. I used to be a CCM staff, and I was responsible for some sites with DRC in Yemen, especially in Lahq. And we like, of course, with CCM stuff, like we are 100% sure that the community engagement or community participation is one of the core things for the CCM in general, like for camp coordination. We believe that the community engagement is essential for every single service that is provided to the site. And if we make sure that it's really useful, the mechanism of coordination, we have to ensure that it's the community participation or engagement is active on the ground. So before, like we have some activities that we like apply at the sites for community engagement. It's just like that common things for CCM in general. But when I attended your training, I was like astonished with the tools that I never heard when I was a CM staff. I never heard about these tools. Maybe I was not introduced by that time, but it was a long time. Like I talk about 2018, 2019. So by that time, I was not aware of these tools. So I never used them officially. But after that, I moved to the capacity building department. But I was still working with CCM partners. You know that I am a CCM officer, a CB team officer with the DRC in our project YDR Yemen. So this project is like we are capacity building team. We are responsible for building the capacity of our staff. We have we have acted, DRC, NRC, and IUM, like sharing like staff and all these like. Just we are coordinating with the staff and the executive unit authorities. So as a part of this, we are shadowing them, we are monitoring them, we are working with them. So CCM still in our blood officially. But so I haven't get the chance to apply these tools, but when we were in the training with you last time, I heard that some of our staff they said they will apply, they will try to apply them since like they are really useful. So but we didn't so far we didn't get the chance to get back to them and we collect this kind of feedback, maybe because now we are at the end of the project and we are just finalizing other stuff. But if we got a new project maybe next year, we will make sure to include this part, like we track them, we monitor them to make sure they are applying this, or we make sure if they really need our help and support to activate these tools, and we just keep them alive as much as we can because they're really useful and they might help them. We need to move from the old theory and mechanism of the community participation. We need to make it more effective, as I said. So this is one of the action points. If we continue, inshallah, for next year, we will make sure that we follow up on this. But my second opinion as a trainer, really, I felt like I have to include them in our CCM. Like as I told you, I never heard about them. Maybe other staff, colleagues in CCM, they never heard about them. So and all I used to teach. I used to train CCM community engagement and community participation for years, but we don't have this element in the module that it was shared by the CCM cluster. It was general. They talk about community participation, obstacles, and about motivations, the community, the participant degrees, and just common, but we never been into the practical side. But since then we stopped training CCM and they introduced a new topic, which is the APSOM or APA approach. However, there are some people like Khalas now in Yemen, some sites they are moving, they are phasing out. So these sites actually left without CCM knowledge. So we are planning for the new project to repeat the CCM trainings for the updated materials, but we'll make sure that we include this element in the main module for the community participation. At least like we can introduce a whole tools, but at least we make sure that they practice one or two, which is like appropriate for the context or might work for us in here. So these are some action points that I'm trying to, I'll share it with my management, because now, as I said, now nobody is here participating except me, but I'll make sure to, Huda, and so I'll make sure to handle this, and I'll try to make it, maybe we'll have next month a training. It's the last thing we are doing. It's CCM. So I will try to include something. And if I got any difficulties or obstacles, I would like to get back to you, yeah, Kristen, since I have communication with you, for any support. And in general, like beside the community engagement as a training, as a trainer, it's hard to attend some training session, to be honest with you. It's hard to keep me 2 hours in one place, I'm telling you. And even when I was a teacher before. So, but really, really, Kristen and Noor, they were so wonderful that they kept, I don't know, they were 3 days, but I never felt like these 3 days. We were like active the whole 3 days, the whole day on our toes, like having fun, enjoying, learning, and participating. Like every person was participating in these activities, because it was not lecture side, it was like just activities one after one. So everybody was trying to be part of everything, all the group activities and all discussions was fun, interesting, and I really admire, like I love such kind of trainings, and I would love to attend another round with you at any time. It would be a pleasure for me, and I'm trying to steal some of your techniques actually in my training, so thank you so much for that. But that's it.
Well, thank you so much, Abir. That's incredible to hear, and absolutely fingers crossed that you get an extension to your project and you can continue to train on and implement these tools and approaches. And I'd love to hear what you're going to steal. If you're going to steal the animal sounds energizer.
Well, my colleague Muad already did that.
Excellent.
Yeah, but it's your thing, like the outline on the objectives and all that, they were really like something new for me, and I like new and unique things. So the atmosphere in general, this is what I believe. It's like we learn through fun, being interested, engaging, not rather than like lecturing. Nobody likes lectures. Salas, we are too old to be in a lecture or a class. So thank you so much for this, and I encourage that you continue and bring more people to on the table.
Thank you, Abir. Clara.
No, I just want to comment on how important to know what Abir said when we think about the target group for who we made this package, because it's mainly firstly for people in the field that will be directly with the community and could share and use the tool or apply the tool. But in the same time, it's very important for project managers that have this knowledge that exists to be to include it in their project, because it's like from the beginning is we always said without the budget, without the planning, it's very hard to implement these tools in the field. Then if it goes directly to the field only, without the sensitization of the project managers, the people that are in charge of designing it, that's make a lot of difference. I wanted to comment on that. Thank you.
Excellent point. Thank you, Clara. And just staying on a bit on target group and who can use the training and who it can be useful for. I want to bring in Isabel, who trained the team in Sudan. And I want to ask you the same questions, Isabel. How you, as a trainer, I suppose, how do you find the training? And do you think it was useful for the team? And do you have any feedback? Over to you.
Certainly. I personally love the training. The first time I used it myself was actually not for a CCCM group or a site management group. A request came from our protection from violence team in Sudan. As they were working on certain things, they realized that maybe they would like a little bit more on community engagement, actually what it means and how to actively engage the community, rather than it being said that we do community engagement, but exactly what activities would that mean and what would that look like, helping the team really understand the importance of community engagement. It is entirely possible to adapt the package to make it useful for not just site management or CCCM. It can be well and clearly adjusted to other sectors, to other activities. Following on from that, I've also used components of the training for the shelter and settlements team in NRC, which is also now the site management, where site management sits in NRC, to support their understanding as well, and to start to build towards that capacity or strengthen that capacity as well within that team from a global, but also working with our national level specialists as well. And I look forward to doing more trainings broadly across with the teams that we work with. It's a very flexible training to contextualize and to manage and to select the components as to where it sits easily and what's most relevant. Obviously, you have to get to know the team you're working with and understand what their needs and gaps are. But once you've done that, you can do a learning needs assessment, have lots of conversations with the people who'll be engaging in the training. It's very flexible. And I've really enjoyed being able to take components that work, adjust components that need to be shifted a little bit depending on the audience that I have. I find it a wonderful training, and it really complements a lot of other trainings that we have that I'll talk about a little bit more later. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I think it's really important that you all said that you've used some of the modules, you've used some of the tools later, and it's really like you don't have to follow the suggested agenda very rigidly. You pick and choose what you want for the context and for the needs. In the training package, there's also a suggested learning needs assessment that you can use as a template, and you adjust it to your needs as well. And this brings me also to I don't know if Jennifer is here with us now, but if people are wondering how they can, not as a trainer, but as say a project manager or a country director or someone who has a team who they would like to be trained on in community engagement, whether it's with CCCM or other sectors, they might wonder how they go about requesting this training. Just going to see if Jennifer is here, because as she represents the capacity building side of the cluster, it'd be good to bring her in, but she's not.
I think Jen joined. Yeah, Christine. I haven't seen her.
Okay, she must be in a tunnel somewhere. But so what I would say, and then I suppose Isabel and Clara, you can add to this. One thing you can do is to contact Isabel. Am I correct in saying this? Is this still like this? Things changes a bit under the different cluster.
I think at the moment the cluster is in a slight time of shifting and changing. Jennifer is definitely one person to talk to. I think within all of your organizations, there's probably another focal point as well. So it may depend on which organization you're in and what structure you have. But certainly between myself and Jennifer, we can discuss and understand how best we can support or make sure there's a trained trainer in the area who may be able to support with the training as well. So if you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to myself and Jennifer, and we'll find a way to support as much as possible wherever we can. I don't know if anyone
want to share your emails in the chat, that would be useful. And this is the point where I'm wondering if anyone has any questions to what we've all been saying. You can raise, yes, Anila Noor.
Yes, hi everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for this discussion. I don't know how much you know about New Women Connectors. So New Women Connector is a refugee women-led organization, and we are also co-lead of meaningful participation in a global compact of refugee as a pledge lead. So I'm happy to have this conversation because as a refugee-led organization and with a feminist approach, we always felt this community of practices or meaningful participation approaches or community engagement, unfortunately, till today, lacking the feminist approach or gender-based approach. It's not, we are not saying we are intentionally, leaving that out, but because the system is not that much. And when we are having a participation for a woman, being a woman, I know they require extra engagement, investment, and understanding. And then on that, I'm from Pakistan, but living in Netherlands. The culture acceptance of participation is totally different. So I wanna request, how we can engage some kind of this perspective. I didn't see your tools yet, but I love to see how we can see this tool and maybe put, because we are also giving the meaningful participation training. So I feel like it's very good engagement. I think last year when I start engaging with you, I presented our work as well, but I know life change and everything changing, especially. But right now we're really trying to see how we can work togetherly with this kind of engagement, because funding cut making us disappear and our work is becoming, unfortunately, not been recognized. I will be very fair and open. So I really felt you are doing is very good, and I love to see how we can collaborate, and I love to request for TOT. So it's like, so for us as a intersectional approach, we do the TOTs with the learning. So we don't assume we are trainer and we know everything. We learn together to make a journey. So that's why I'm requesting if we could have a this TOT request, and we can do online. So I don't know, and if it's entitled with any cost or something, or is a free to use, that will be nice. But I don't know. But I'm really really interested to know how you are doing this. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. These are great points. I mean, I think it would be very interesting to meet later and discuss more how we can support each other. And like, I'd love to see your training on meaningful participation, etc. Because yeah, of course, we strive to be as inclusive as possible and to have a focus on women and the most marginalized groups in our community engagement approaches. But it would be great to discuss with you and your lived experience and your perspective. And when it comes to TOT and the format and everything, that's also very good points. So we don't have a TOT. Hang on a second. I'm just gonna try and mute down. For now, we don't have a TOT training like modality developed. It's just a training package, and then it's trained trainers that can use them that have already done a TOT. The training in itself can be done online. One of our pilots was online for Myanmar. So we have some learnings from how that went and how to best do it online. But a training is different than a TOT, so we'd have to discuss the modalities. And when it comes to the cost, we're in the same position as most others. So the Community Engagement Forum, we lost our funding last year, and so it's all voluntary now. So we don't have, before that was part of our funding was to provide trainings, both online and in person, and now we don't have those funds anymore. But we could look to look for funds together for something. So let's continue to talk, and I'll be in touch. Maybe, I don't know if I can see, sorry for this bilateral now. I don't think I can see your email, but maybe you can write to me. Yeah. Clara.
So I think it's still relevant to reinforce that the training, it's to support, know how to use the tools that are available in this link that Christine shared. Then anyway, the tools are available, and if you needed some, some guidance on how to use specifically the tools, you can also discuss in the forum or put I like this too much, or other one, and then you can seek for support to use the specific tool without the training, without to pass the process as well. But yes, the training, it's on how to use and to spread more this knowledge on how to use the tools. Rafael.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Clara. I just wanted to add also that one important component of it is to understand what is your objective, or what kind of outcome do you want to see from the engagement. Because also we look at are you trying to address a challenge through the community engagement? Is there an issue that you feel we can address through the community engagement approach? Because for different contexts, we have a reason for using different tools based on the available context at that moment. For example, when we use the women coordination tool, it's mostly to encourage and improve women participation, because the context as at that time do not allow women to easily participate. When, of course, in northern Nigeria, it's normally that when men are there, the leadership are there, women can't be able to say their concern and all that. So this is why we introduce a separate mechanism whereby women can be able to air out their concern, and this is also we also introduce a gender balance in terms of a female staff conducting the whole process. So they are able to get good feedback from women that we don't normally get formally. So this could be the kind of outcome that you want to see. And of course, we can share lesson learned from these approaches and how this can be useful to your context.
Thank you, Rafael. And yeah, I know you have a lot of experience in using all of the CCT tools, and specifically on this women's coordination network. You have great impact to show. Abir.
Yes, thank you so much. I just would like to add a small comment about these tools. Like in general, community participation, it could be like different from one community to another, from one context to another. So we have, I think from my point of view, in my opinion, that we have to be careful when we are choosing which tool to be used in which site, in which community. Like the problem is we first need to study the whole situation, the whole community, know exactly how is it, like in our because some people, they come from, managers. I'm talking here about managers. Some of them, they come from one country to another country where there are different traditions, different customs, that everything is. So that person should study well the whole context before choosing which tool to be used in that context. Otherwise, you will cause a harm. One of them could be this community, like sharing, engaging women in context like Yemen context. It's almost like impossible to ask women to participate. It's something against traditions. Whatever you try to explain for them, whatever you try to make it like, sure, oh, this is important for you, no, for them, are you selling them this idea? It's not working at all. But you need to study the whole situation, see exactly, and you have to see exactly which point you have to go through this, try to convince them, sharing the importance, highlight the main ideas behind this. And then if they are convinced, you see, then they might accept this approach. They might welcome it, apply it, and be effective. But if you're forcing people for something that they are not familiar with or they are not convinced with, this could be a disaster. And I'm saying that because I remember, like, I want to share just some example, like short one. When I started working as a CM in one of the sites, I was asked to create or establish a community committee. So they told me that, oh, we have to focus on this gender balance thing. Like it's supposed to be half and half, like female and male. And I was like happy, going, khalas, I'm following orders, blah, 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 moving, jumping, dancing in the side. Khalas, we will have like, I need 12 people, like from male and female. And people, they were looking at me like, who's this idiot? And what she's trying to tell us. And I tried, it never worked. We don't have women. I get the same response. We don't have women participating. It's only like a male thing. No, our ladies, they don't go outside and all that. So it was like failure, you know that. So all the 12, they were men at the beginning. And then after some time, like because I was assigning them some task at the site, doing this and this, blah blah blah. They have to follow me around the site. They saw it is so tiring for them, and it's nothing in return. Like because we don't give them anything. It's just they participate. It's for free, so voluntary, because men in our context, they have to go outside, they have to bring money, they have to provide. So when they used to go somewhere, they would ask one of their females in the house, like daughter or wife, to step in and take the tasks and the job. So one day by day, I realized that half of the committee became female, like by themselves. I didn't ask for that because they wanted to keep this position within their families, because they feel like, oh, being a part of the community committee, it's something big for them. They don't want to give up for the position, but at the same time, they wanted, like, officially the lady is doing that. She was doing that behind the scene, that. So, but at the end, they were convinced that this lady has the ability to get access to the families, the households, going inside, be more active, actually, and useful than the male in these sites. So after all, خلاص, I was successful, but after some time, when they were convinced and give up that I don't provide them anything in return. So that's it. Thank you. This was from my side.
Thank you so much for bringing it back to reality, and to providing this excellent example. Isabel, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to flag one other thing that I found really useful, as well as the trainings for other sectors. I also did an in-person session in North Darfur earlier this year, which was a CCCM training for a new team starting up. But we brought together different trainings for that. So we brought together the standard package of the CCCM training that's available through the cluster through a TOT trained trainer, along with the community engagement training, selecting the components that work best and complemented where I needed, but also using the tools in the CCT, which is full of training components, both for your team and also for the community. So taking a combination of those to really complement what was needed in that environment really helped bring everything together. And within the CCT, those tools are available. They're online. They come with instructions and PowerPoints and lists of what you need. So they're also a really great way to bring in practicality of using those tools and practicing using those tools within the trainings as well. So I just also wanted to highlight that as another avenue and another way to connect those activities together.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a complementary training to the induction package, and it shouldn't be in its place or duplicating anything in there. We've been, so 2023, we've been working on this for 3 years. So hopefully you're getting the crème de la crème, the best training modules you could possibly get now after 3 years of revising them. Someone was asking how many modules the training has, and I was looking for just to share a screenshot of the sample agenda, but it turns out I can't talk and click at the same time. Thanks, Noor. Noor comes to the rescue again. So Nora's answered Bharat there in the comments. There's what is community engagement in CCCM? Of course, this should be adapted to any other sector that would be requesting the training, but this is specifically for CCCM. And we also have a session on community-led projects. I think Rafael was talking about the community-led projects and how they've been using the tools. Stakeholder mapping and analysis. There's a community feedback tool, so a session on how this can be used as a satisfaction survey for the community to hold the service providers accountable on the services provided. Handover and exit planning to make sure our exit is safe and responsible. Community dynamics, that session is about working with informal leaders. So the stakeholder mapping analysis, we're mapping all the relevant stakeholders, including formal leaders and community groups, etc. But we have a specific session on how to identify informal leaders and then how to engage with them and work with them in our community engagement efforts. Meaningful participation, what it is, what makes participation meaningful, how do we get there? Information sharing and rumor management, people-centered tools. So for the people-centered tools, we are introducing empathy maps and then how to use them strategically in your project planning and implementation as a user journey tool. And the experience and capacity sharing, that's early on in the training where the participants are sharing their main challenges in community engagement in the context. And then the last one is way forward and closure. So that's the training modules that are included in the package. And yeah, then you can pick and choose and adapt as you wish. Going back to the chat. Sorry, Fernanda, you are saying. I would like to share that some of us from the review panel are not trained trainers, but considering the efforts many of us put in, it would be important to check the final result. Yes, I mean, it's not really up to me today to say whether the review panel would get access to the training package or not, but I'll get back to you if that's okay, Fernanda. Because I don't have that level of authority. Any other questions? Anyone here? Is it clear how to request the training if you're not a trained trainer, but you want to train the team? Basically to email Isabel or Jennifer? Yes, Abir.
I'm sorry. I remember that you sent us after the training a link to access the materials, but I couldn't make it anymore. I don't know why I didn't get the access. So if it's possible, I would love to get an access for these materials. As I told you, I'm planning to use or to just like have an introduction in our coming CCM for these tools for our participants. So I need to go through the modules, training modules or package to choose or whatever to adjust in our modules. That's it. Thank you.
Yes, I will do that. I'll follow up on that. And like Clara was saying, all the tools are in the CCT, but the training package itself on how to train on them is part of the training package. Namir is asking, do you want to turn on your audio, Namir? I'm only asking you guys this because there's a lot of people here I haven't heard from in a while. Hi, Namir. Oh, we can't hear you. We can see you, but we can't hear you. No. At least I can't hear you. Oh, yeah. No, there's something wrong with your audio microphone. Sorry, Namir, we can't hear you.
Now,
Yes.
same?
No, yes.
Yes. Perfect. So I think I have an issue with the internet. So thanks a lot. It's been a long time that since we have met the last time. It's just something that I want to ask. In some areas, it's hard to access. Like now, me and Rafael working on Palestine. So the team, it's like Gaza, it's almost impossible to access. But if we can do something similar online, a basic one, over.
Yes, yeah. I mean, practically yes. You can, you can request the training to the cluster, and it can be done online as well as in person. That's no problem. But I just request it to Isabel or Jennifer, and then and they will let you know if it's possible. You know, funding wise, time wise, training wise, all of that. But absolutely, yeah. And you can shorten it down to like a basic one, like you say.
I will ensure
We did
to
that.
discuss them soon.
Yeah, Isabel, you and me, we did that for the I don't remember what team, but within
It was
NRC.
the Sudan protection team in Sudan. We did it online and just selected the key modules based on the discussions we had had with the team and prioritized what they needed to focus on. I think it was a few hours. Did we keep them for 2 or 3 hours, maybe 2.5? But it's entirely possible to do online. You can also break it down so you do a little bit each week or spread it out over time. So it's not just one instantaneous load of training at one time. So people have time to process it as well. So those are certainly options that are available with the training, and online is possible. It's always more work. Keeping people engaged is always more work, but it's possible.
Yes, it's possible. It's cheaper.
Thank you.
So that's good. Raphael.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's almost the same approach that is used in Gaza currently, where a capacity building training is done in batches for a period of a month, but maybe 2 hours per week and so. So maybe we can adopt the same approach. We're looking to, I mean, the technical working group was just launched not long. So we're looking at harmonizing the different tools we have. Of course, we are aligning it with what we have under CCT and seeing what works for us and how we can be able to contextualize them. But again, we can also have those channel capacity building with the team online, just like I mean, mention that would be done on a basic online tool, even though we have shown the background, but of course it would be good to maybe go through this with the team in Gaza. I mean, looking at the context and then the different engagement strategy that are needed to be employed, the limited availability of resources, and very importantly, I always have this case study in my head where we have the cyclone issue in Afghanistan, where the partner just went in to provide containers without having to engage. So we can see a lot of most of those things, people supporting our family with what they are not, that is not their major priority at the moment. So the engagement strategy can help to provide very good feedback from the community to know what they actually want, because of how the context is, most planning are done probably at the agency level, and then the feedback is not fit into the program design or the project design. So this can be very, very useful for the team on ground, and then can support the operation ongoing in Gaza. Over to you, please.
That's that's great that you're in the same response, aren't you? So that you can find ways to collaborate on community engagement. Bharat, would you like to say something? How are you? Something. Your microphone. Could you get closer to your microphone, please? No. maybe this is I just learned that Mercury is going into retrograde today, so it affects communication. So this is it?
You know?
Barely.
I hope you can hear me clearly. So, yeah, my point is, in terms of this training, I think the participants should be more of the strategy of the makers. Okay?
Sorry, can you type your
Yes, I will do
question?
that.
Because I don't think I get it right.
All right, I will type it.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else have any question or comment in the meantime before we go? I think so far we have come to an agreement that we need to organize an online training, potentially a TOT, to all the donors out there. I think we have come to an agreement that this is the need. Whether it will be global or regional or country specific remains to be seen. Yes, Abir.
Another requirement, it's sharing the materials, because as a trainer,
Yes.
I need it badly, please. So this is really important. Thank you so much.
Definitely. No, I'll share with you what was shared during the training in Yemen. I think that's a different communication thread than the how to request the training material as a trained trainer. So I'll do that with you separately. Bharat is asking, I was trying to say that the training package should be targeted for the project managers also, because the community engagement or soft components are highly prioritized when there is budget, and I have seen the tendency that community engagement and capacity building components are easy to omit if there's limited funding. Yes, this is what Clara was speaking on earlier, wasn't it? It's targeting the primary target group is the field practitioners as opposed to field staff, but it should also include the project managers that have decision making over the budget and strategy. And yeah, Clara. Lana. Hi, Lana. Me and Clara testimony that an online TOT is possible. Yes, that was the first TOT for the CCT, wasn't it? We can definitely use that modality again. At this point, I'm just reading out the comments, but speak up if you want. Bharat is saying, and the partners who have on and off activities which mainly impact the regular engagement in the communities. Yes, I don't understand exactly what that means. To be within the target group of the training, which partners?
Can you hear me now?
You could very, very slightly.
What I'm saying is some of the partners, they have a one-time activity, communicate and don't.
If they have like a one-off engagement in the community, they come in and out. Yeah. Yes, I mean,
in the site.
Ideally, everyone should be trained in community engagement. So we should definitely include as many actors as possible and as many levels as possible. Inshallah, this will happen. It's also one of the strategic areas of the cluster strategy going forward. So it's not forgotten. It's just, I suppose, everything has less funding now they're used to. It's not just community engagement. So, but it is priority from the cluster. So, fingers crossed. Any other questions or comments? Let me go through. People will have to leave as we have reached the hour. I see in the comments. I want to thank everyone for joining today and sharing the training package and sharing your experiences and how you've used it, and sharing your questions and everything. Thanks, Elena. I think I said it wrong the whole time. Shelter, land, and site coordination. So thank you to everyone. And just contact us if you have any further questions about anything. And best of luck with your work in the heat and with the World Cup. All the best.
Thanks, Kristen. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Christine. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.